convo with Jessicah Pierre is a dope one because she's a person that went through a lot and almost lost everything. And still, through all of that strife and all of that poverty and everything, she was able to figure out a way to elevate herself and her family. So I hope you guys enjoy the convo. Holla. Welcome to another episode of It's Kicking It With Show. I am your host, Show, and Kicking It With Show is just us on a road trip. This is a journey where I'm on a journey pretty much, trying to find out the commonalities between people that are in the city of Boston. And today, I have my guest, Jessicah Pierre. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you again.
Always good to see you.
It's been a while.
I know.
What's going on?
Man, everything.
Talk to me. What do you mean
everything is going on. A lot of good things. Keeping busy, staying productive, learning.
So, I saw you guys had your little Queens Go event a couple weeks ago.
See, you said little. It ain't little.
It ain't little. My bad. Y'all are pretty big out here.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. You guys definitely, from watching you guys start, from where you guys began to where you guys are now, it's been almost 2-3 years now?
It's been 3 years. Yeah.
And you guys are grown dramatically. I've seen when it was just a couple of you guys. Mm-hmm. Now the pictures is like almost 60, 70 of you guys, and the events are ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You know, but obviously, you know why we're here. It's just to open up, you know, just show different sides of ourselves to people, and so that even though we're all on different paths, different journeys, our beginnings are very similar. Mm-hmm. And that's where the commonality comes in. Because you guys, you know, I'm Nigerian. I grew up Nigerian, in a Nigerian household. And you are?
I'm Haitian.
Like born in here? Or?
No, I was born in Boston.
So you're like first generation Haitian. Mm-hmm. Okay, see, I'm an immigrant. Straight off, and like I flew here. You know, my kids are first generation. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, what was your childhood like growing up in that Haitian household?
So my childhood was interesting because there was a lot of change in my childhood. So I was born in Boston, and then my mom and dad actually came to America when they were pregnant with me. Okay. So they came to Boston in the early 90s. I was born in 91. And then when I was about 3 or 4 or something, around that age, maybe 5, my mom decided to go back and live in Haiti. So then my parents, they like kind of separated, and then we stayed in Boston with our dad, and then my mom went to Haiti. But she would like come back and forth and like visit, but she mostly lived in Haiti.
So your mom is the one that went back and forth, not your dad?
Mm-hmm. My dad didn't go back to Haiti. He didn't want to go back.
He didn't want to go back?
No.
So he stayed here with you?
Yeah, he stayed here with us.
Okay, see, we're different in that, in the sense of my dad left. You know what I'm saying? Like I was back home and he came to America and we were back home. And he would come back just to give birth to kids. You know, he had me first, and then he came back. Like I didn't see him for like almost 5 years.
Wow.
Like I didn't even know who my dad was. I mean, I was talking on the phone and stuff like that, but there was no rapport.
Wow.
You
like
know,
no in-person.
Nothing. You know, and you know how I could just imagine how your parents are being Haitian. So imagine that being African. It was just that whole "I'm your father," you listen to what I say, all that bullshit. And he would come home, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" My mom would be like, "Oh, that's your dad." Give him a hug. I'm like, "I don't know this man." You know, but all right, cool, bet. What up, fam? You know, cool. Then he left again, and next 9 months later, my mom's giving birth to my sister. You know what I'm saying? So and then he came back, and he brought us here, and that was it. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, so you were gone from the beginning of my life, and now you're just gonna bring me to somewhere where we don't even have a rapport. Mm-hmm. So how was that transition for your mom going back and forth? How was your relationship with her?
Wait, so just a clarifying question. Yeah. So your dad left Nigeria to come to America, so he was like making the money in America.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I thought it was like the similar situation to mine where you guys were in America and then your dad.
No, that's why I said that's why we're different. See, your dad was here with you. Mm-hmm. Me and my mom were over there. Yeah. You know, he stayed here by himself. He was driving, you know, back in the day, was driving cabs, doing whatever they had to do.
Yep. So, I get it.
At least you were here.
Yeah, you know, yeah. But not for long. So, when I was 6, my mom decided to take us because she also had my little brother during the back and forth part.
Yeah.
But she had him in Boston, and then after he was like probably like a few months old, she went to Haiti with him. But we decided to all move to, well, we didn't decide, we kind of had no choice. My mom took us and went to Haiti. So I lived in Haiti for about 3 years, from when I was 6 to 9 years old. And that was great because my mom had like a really great job, great career in Haiti. So we were like living life.
What was she doing?
She worked for one of like the big transportation companies in Haiti. She was like the kind of like the assistant director. She was an assistant director.
That's a big title over there, like that.
Yeah. It was a big deal. So we had a pretty good life when I was in Haiti, and then.
What was your house like?
Okay.
That's very important to let people know.
Our house was huge.
Let them know.
It was huge.
Because I feel like people here always disrespect what it's like in a third world country. You know, it's concrete.
My mom, she built it. She didn't like physically built it, but she designed it and like really made it her own. Was meeting with like engineers, everything. So it was like her dream home essentially.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what happened to it?
Well, it still exists, but so when I was 9, my mom unfortunately passed away.
Oh, sorry.
While we were in Haiti. So then that kind of, when I said I had a lot of change in my childhood, so that was like another dramatic shift because not only did our mom pass away, but then we ended up moving back to Boston. And but we were always going traveling back and forth because my mom, she didn't want us to not be in touch with our dad's family or like just not be in touch with our American culture essentially. So we would go back for vacations. We'd come back and spend like the summers in Boston.
Okay.
So I was still very, very close to my dad's side of the family, and still very close to my dad as well too, because we talk on the phone all the time. And then if he could come to Haiti, he would come.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't hold back from that. He would just come.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after we moved back, life was like dramatically different because it was cold, and then also like our lifestyle changed drastically too, because while my mom was like living this dope ass life in Haiti, my dad's side of the family, when immigrants come to America, it's not easy. You can just change your Haitian money to American money and still be living lavish. It's like completely starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's a cab driver, so going to like a one-parent household and then not having the same financial situation that we had in Haiti, that was a huge difference for us. But then I also have a really big family in America, so my grandmother is here. I have a lot of aunts and uncles, and I kind of missed being around like my big family. So because my dad worked so much and we were so young, we didn't live with him because he was always working. He didn't want us in the house by ourselves. So we were raised by our grandmother and like our aunts and uncles and stuff. And so I grew up with them for a while and lived in Brockton. But then there was also a lot of change with them because we would move a lot. Like in Brockton, but like move a lot.
Oh, yes, you're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir right now. The moving, the constant moving.
A struggle. But
how did you? I don't mean to cut you off.
No worries.
But before we move on, how did you deal with the loss of your mom at such a young age? How old were you when you lost her? If you don't mind
I was 9, and I mean it was rough. It was rough because like our mom, how everybody feels about their mom. Like your mom is like the light of your life. Like. She's everything. So it still is rough, but you do learn to like adjust and like essentially move on, but it's a constant struggle. It's like a constant pain, it's a constant like void.
Yeah.
So, but you just learn to live with it essentially, but it's always going to be tough.
What did you take from that loss, and what did you take from the loss back then as a kid and what you went through emotionally to your adulthood now?
So I never realized how much it shaped me growing up until now, because my mom, she was a boss. She was super ambitious. Like she would do anything possible for her kids to like build the life that she believes she deserves to live.
Yeah.
And so I have that same willingness now. Thanks.
No, it's a beautiful thing. She'd be very proud of you.
I'm like, my mom did it, so why can't I? So that's my main motivation now and my main muse, because I know what type of lifestyle that I could live. So now I'm just striving to be what my mom was.
Trying to replicate that a little bit, especially
in my own path. But her level of success and the all of the amazing things that she did to help other people, like that's what I'm definitely striving towards.
You have definitely done that. With the Queen's Co. I mean, ever since I started doing this whole media thing, come on the scene, you were one of the first people that was put in front of me. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a whole different level of seriousness. You know, it's not a bad seriousness, obviously, but you were like into your thing and everything. And you were, when we first met, you know, was during the podcast that I do. And obviously, we were also going through transitions, figuring out what we were doing and everything. But just the way you spoke and carried yourself, it just showed me, okay, this is a serious person. You know what I'm saying? You took yourself very seriously, but you also had a playful part of you where you can still relax and, you know, and just, you know, and just chill. Yeah. And I like that. And I was like, okay, cool. So she knows when to turn it on and when to turn it off, not just very suit all the time.
Oh, no. People think that of me sometimes, and I'm like, God.
That's what we see.
Yeah, and I'm like, Instagram's not real life. Like,
it's not at all. This is presentation.
It's just like my portfolio. It's not real life.
It took me a while to actually understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because for me, my aesthetic is very different. You know, my aesthetic is whatever goes. I'm just always gonna be me. So I never understood the whole, not corporate, but the business aspect of doing things and presentation wise and how it helps you with marketing and all that. I'm just now understanding everything. You know, so back then when I was watching you guys and I'm just like, oh, they're doing way too much. It's not even that serious, yo. Like, you're gonna get bread anyways. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I honestly used to blow my mind and people like, no, I can't do that on camera. I'm like, wow. They're like, nah, it's not my aesthetic. I'm like, but that's who you are though. Because that's my thing where, you know, be who you are, but I'm learning that from watching you and everybody else who's in that world, you can still be who you are, but this is the aspect that you market, which is nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I applaud you and the whole gang for that. You guys are killing the game.
Thank you.
Ridiculous. Compared to how you grew up, how would you compare it to your friends, the ladies you're around now, or even back then when you were younger?
So I guess the main difference between how I grew up and how like a lot of other people I know grew up or people around me grew up was just not having a mom in your life is like just, it's tough because it's like something that everybody has. Everybody has a mother because everybody, you know. And then a lot of people still have their mothers in their lives. So when they're like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna ask my mom, like I'm gonna talk to my mom about this. Like I never had that, but within that situation, there's still some positives that come out of it because I'm really, really close to my dad. So I have a really great relationship with my dad. And even though I don't have my mother in my life, I have a great relationship with my siblings. And then I also have a really big family. And that's something that a lot of people don't have, or like their families don't get along.
Very true.
My family's nuts. They're crazy, but
they're
like... But we love really, really hard. We're always there to support each other, always there when anybody needs anything. Like we know how to come together when we need to come together, but everybody's nuts. Everybody's nuts.
You know I know your cousin. You know I know your cousin.
Which
right?
cousin?
Actually, both of them. Ritza, and Vanessa, yeah. And I'm like, yep, that's crazy ass feeling. But they're cool ass peoples though. So when the whole mom thing and then your friends having it, what did you take? Like, what gave you the strength to be like, you know what? Even though I don't have my mom's, I can still do this. Even though my friends have it and everything. What do you think you gained from the loss that they don't have?
Well, I wouldn't say that they don't have this. They might have it in a different way, but because of the loss, I have a lot of gratitude. So I've always been really, really optimistic about everything. Like that's just how I've been from the jump. Ever since I was a kid, I could always look at the bright side of everything, and I feel like that's what really helped me get through a lot in life. Because I knew wherever I am now, like it's not gonna last. Like whatever mood I'm in now, whatever negative situation I'm in now, it's not gonna last. Like it's always gonna get better. So that mindset really helped me, and like being able to see all of the good in my life and be grateful for all those things. It's hard when you're so busy being grateful. It's hard to
focus on the negatives.
Yeah, focus on what you don't have.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm glad my friends have a lot of the things that in their lives that I didn't have. I'm glad that they have like 2 parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's dope to see because I didn't get to see it. So when I go to their house and their mom shows me love and I get to see,
beautiful thing.
It's dope to be around it. I'm blessed.
It's like your circle just gotten bigger.
Yeah,
it's full of love.
Yeah.
Everybody just loves to see what you're doing and everything like that. What would you say now as an adult, what are the pros and cons of your adolescence? Because I know the teenage years are probably very difficult.
The cons. So a lot of the pros is like, having my mindset.
Let's do the cons
The
and come back to the
okay.
pros after. Yeah.
The cons is that I never got to see like a healthy, functioning like marriage growing up, because a lot of my aunts are single, so they don't have like men in their lives. And then my uncles have wives, but like my uncles, they kind of, because they have wives, they have like their own lives, so they're not like they kind of have their separate household. But like my family, most of us I don't live with them, but everybody lives in the same house essentially. Yeah. Because that's how immigrants usually do. Everybody you just buy a big ass house and everybody lives together.
That's where we differ. That's where we differ. A lot of my family spread out.
Oh, that's good.
Like they're here, but I don't see them. Mm-hmm. We don't have the relationship that your family has. So when I meet people like you who have such a big family, a part of me is very envious because it is a void inside of me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I used to look at it, actually it used to make me very angry. When people were like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to my cousin's house, I'm going to go to my aunt's house. I'm like, damn, I don't want to go chill with. You know what I mean? But now as an adult, I'm glad. Yeah. In a sense of, it's giving me strength where I feel like, not that I don't need it, but I'll be able to stand on my own. Yeah. And not feel like, oh, I need to be babied. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So even though my family is not close like yours is, like I said, it's giving me a strength that I never knew I had. But now that I do have my own family, it's great. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, I've come full circle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought that I would even have a family. I never thought I would be married. I never thought I would have kids. I was just a dude who was just like, I'm just going to get my check, live my life. You know what I'm saying? That was it, because I just never, even though I grew up in a two-family household, like, I have both my parents, I have siblings, but you would never know that I had any of that because that's not something I portrayed. You know what I'm saying? So people thought, oh, and then if you saw my family, you look at me like, how are you the way you are? That's not the way you are. But I'm like, I guess you would say I was kind of like a black sheep. So where you didn't have your moms, you had the family to hold you down and circle you. I didn't have any of that. The support, like, I would never do so with my parents, in the sense of they did their job. Yeah. They raised me, they fed me, and everything like that. But the support that you had, I never had. So I got it from my boys. I know a lot of dudes always say the streets raised them. Well, I saw the streets and I realized that's not really where I'm all about. Yeah. I might have the aesthetic, but my friends were, these are college-bound kids, intelligent young men who are mostly Haitian. I still can't speak any like a Creole.
That's a shame.
It's a shame. It is a shame. But I feel Spanish too. I suck at second languages. But they held me down in the times where, I was going through rough times. Like, who I was. I was just kind of like a zombie. Just paying my bills, going to work, and that was it. So it wasn't until I started maybe 25, 26, where I was going through having my first child and everything. And I was just like, yo, I don't know if I'm even supposed to be a dad right now. Like, this is crazy. I have my own kid. But thankfully, she was my girlfriend at the time, my wife now. She wasn't tripping on me too much. She realized that, this was a big responsibility on me, and I'm learning how to alter my life from what it was prior. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now who you guys are seeing has been that change. Yeah. That growth of, okay, I don't need to be that way anymore. Just, what are the examples that I can bring to my family? Because now I have my sons, I have my daughters, and they're looking at everything that I'm doing, and I have to figure out what's the best way to raise them while not disrespecting the way I grew up also. You know what I'm saying? So what would you say is the pros for everything now that you've done, that you grew up with?
So a lot of what you said, really valuing community. Yeah. So not even just in my family, but community and my friends. I've always had a great group of friends. I've always had great people around me. Like, teachers would gravitate to me. So, like, I always had a really good community. And I feel like that's essential for everybody who needs to grow and wants to be a better person. Like, you have to surround yourself with really supportive and loving people. And the fact that I have that, and I always had that, like, it's amazing. Yeah.
Beautiful. And a lot of people definitely did not have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely hung around some people where I thought I would had a bad life, and then I would see them like, you know what? I gotta be grateful. You know, at the end of the day, you know. But now, you're Haitian, and I know you grew up with the Haitian stigmas. So you gotta tell me, how did you overcome all of those stigmas? Take ownership over them, or even change the narrative of what people see as a Haitian person and as a Haitian woman?
So yeah, growing up with the Haitian stigmas was tough. Like I remember when I first moved back from Haiti, I was in 4th grade and I moved back in the middle of the school year.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it was bad. I got to
God.
my class and then my teacher, she like made me stand up in front of the whole class and she's like, everyone, meet our new student. Her name is Jessica and she's here from Haiti.
What were you wearing, if you remember?
I was wearing regular clothes. I was always fly. So like I had my
excuse
jeans
me.
on, my sneakers
Okay.
on, you know, my little backpack or whatever.
Oh, she was styling first day.
I was always laced, you
Okay,
know?
okay.
So I remember kids coming up to me like, do you speak English? And I was like, yes, I do. Because I went to an American school when I was in Haiti and like most of the people around me spoke English.
Wait.
So
You went to an American school?
yeah, I went to an American school. My mom spoke English. My siblings spoke English.
You do know that English back there is different from English here, though.
No.
It wasn't different at all?
It was an American school. So it was American people teaching.
So it was like,
It was
black
like-
teachers, or was it white teachers?
It was a combination.
Combination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, when I was in school back home in Nigeria, we had English, but it wasn't American English.
Yeah, you guys have a
British.
different dialect.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we just have English, like
Okay.
American English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have Pidgin English, which is broken English, and then we have the Nigerian American English. You know, so when I came here, I was saying like the word vegetable. I'm saying vegetable now, but back then it was vegetable.
Really?
Oh man.
That's so funny.
Listen, I was getting.
That's how they taught you at school?
That's because you have to pronounce each thing. It's like there's a letter there. You pronounce it. You know, just like the word oven. I used to say oven.
Oh.
It was a strong O instead of a lowercase o. All that I had to learn, it was a big transition. I was getting clowned. Like, oh yeah, you definitely off the boat, Africans.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang. Yeah.
So when you're telling me that Haiti was teaching you American English, so your transition wasn't that's rough.
So like when I went to there was an American curriculum, like there was no Creole taught in my school. Like it was an American school. It was literally like the schools here. Like it was an American Christian school.
They didn't teach you no Creole at all.
No.
That's
my mom
crazy.
actually, she had me taking French classes because I couldn't speak Creole. So I couldn't speak to like people like, you know, so she had me taking my teacher, I would stay after school and she would teach me French and that's how I learned some of the words. But yeah, it was straight up American.
That's crazy.
There's a lot, well, not a lot, but like there's a good amount in the capital in Haiti. So that's why a lot of American people can live there because
English is normally spoken over there.
I mean, I wouldn't say normally, but
You gotta know how to say say at least or something.
no, you do have to learn how to.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why my mom had me taking lessons because I had to learn how to speak the language. I could understand it. I could understand Creole, but I couldn't speak it. Like I didn't know the pronunciation. I couldn't get my words out. So
Yes, we had.
yeah.
I actually had the class. We had English, French, and Yoruba, which is my national, my Yoruba language, my Nigerian accent. So I can speak it, I can understand it, but reading it was a whole different ball game. Different accents and all of that. I just and then French came in the book. I was like, oh come on, fam, I can't do all of this. Give me English and Yoruba. I'll speak the Yoruba. I'll understand it, but I'm just not gonna be able to. I can read it now, which is weird. As an adult, I can read it better than I did back then. I don't really understand how my brain clicked to that. You know what I mean? But that is crazy. I never thought about that because all my Haitian friends, their parents speak English, but it's not like our English. So I always thought that
there's an accent.
Yeah.
But they have an accent because it's not their first language, not because it's like taught for them to speak with that accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So y'all, I don't really consider y'all like third world then. I'll say y'all like second world problems.
Haiti?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know it's third world. I know it's third world, but
and because we had money, we had access to these types of education. But like most of the country, most people are not wealthy in Haiti, so they don't have access to. They can't go to an American school because they can't afford it. It's expensive.
It is expensive.
It was a private Christian school, so it was expensive.
Oh, so you went to a Christian school?
Yeah, I went to a Christian school.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
It was founded by two pastors. They were wife and husband. They were married. Yeah, but because we had money, we were able to do that. But like
money
majority
goes a
of the
long
country-
way, man. Especially in a third world country, money goes a long
Yeah.
way. Yeah, nah, definitely. Because I went to a private school over there too, and I had two options. It was just like go to Olashore, which was like a way grander school that I actually chose to go to, and these kids were monsters. Like they were already 6, 7, 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? But big. It wasn't like tall. You know when you see Africans or Haitians, they're usually tall and skinny. No, these were massive giants.
So they was eating.
They was eating.
They had money.
You know, they had money, man.
They was eating.
I was like, Dad, you want to bring me here, fam? I was
That's
like,
funny.
these are giants. And so we went to another one where I actually ended up going to was Nickdale, which was in the town that I grew up in. And it was like the ghetto compared to the one that I actually went. Oh man, we were fighting for food. You know what I'm saying? It was a co-ed school, so the boys were up top and the girls were living on the bottom of the hill and everything. And then we just went up for school, went up for food and all of that. But compared to the rich school, like I mean, my school was rich too. It was like I mean, you have to pay to get in. Not everybody could go there, but you can just tell the difference.
Yeah.
You know, we played them in sports and they kicked our ass every time. You know, these kids are jumping out the gym on us. We over here still, you know, like, oh, like they gave us a plate of food one time. We went there and we were so used to fighting for our meals because you had to fight to get like a that's a small portion of meat. You had to fight.
So they didn't have enough food for everybody.
It was just. I don't know if the proprietor, which is obviously the owner of the school, just was just taking the money or what was going on, but we fought for meals
every day.
Every day. If you wasn't there, you wasn't eating.
What?
I mean, you would like, let's say like if everybody had money and everything like that, so your parents could give you money, so that like the canteen truck would come, and you can get rice, you can get the rice plates and all that other stuff. But if they weren't there, you were gonna suffer. It was bad. But I like that. I loved that aspect of okay, cool. It reminded me of being here, because when I grew up in Mission Hill, I remember the struggle of what Mission Hill was like. So when I was there, it was like being at home. It was like being at home. It was like, oh, this savagery. And the thing is, we were like 12, 13 years old, fighting for a morsel of beef. You know what I'm saying? Like even the rice plates, even the rice came in a bowl, and the soup came in the sauce, whatever, came in a small bowl. So if you could get rice and maybe a sprinkle of some sauce, and then if there was meat there, and you got some, sometimes you didn't, and that's what we did. We had to fight. Or I don't know if you had it in Haiti, seniority. Did you guys have seniority back home? Like seniority is like if I'm a day older than you, I can tell you what to do. Like I'm your boss, pretty much.
I don't know. I mean, I never.
I can just tell where your face
we would
like,
joke
what?
around. Like me and my siblings would joke around, but like not on like an official level. No, I don't think that's part. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak for like the whole Haitian culture because maybe some other people do that stuff, but I wasn't raised.
That's the African culture.
But I respect my elders. Like I know when people are older than me, like I respect them. There was never like an official like. Like, do you guys like reference like seniority or like?
Yes. Matter of fact, you could not talk back to somebody who was a class ahead of you. He was your boss. Like I could, because I obviously lived on campus. It was crazy. Like I lived on dorms, so 11th grader could come to me, a 6th grader, and tell me to wash his clothes, and I had to do it. Either that,
no.
man. But see, when you grow up in that culture, you're used to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes just be like, all right, cool, whatever, and just wash it. You might throw a little fit here and there, but you're still gonna get it done, because if you don't get it done, you get your ass beat.
Yeah.
And they literally would beat you up if you didn't listen to them. And the teachers would do nothing, because that's just the culture. I mean, did you all do the whole flogging thing in Haiti?
What's that?
What?
Flogging?
Flogging.
Flogging? I don't
like
know
a beating? Like a teacher beating you?
They definitely have that.
What did they use?
It depends. So my school, they use a paddle. Like you got paddled.
That was it? That's weak sauce.
But in like the Haitian schools, they use, rulers, different things. There's this thing that my dad, I don't think they use it anymore, but what my dad grew up with is this thing called a wigwas, which is kind of like a little whip.
Okay. Flexible?
And so I don't know what it looks like because I've never gotten hit with one, but sometimes they take a little, a little twig and
yeah. Switch, like Americans call it a switch. See, I grew up with the switch. I grew up with the cane. Back home was the canes, and there's different thicknesses. So if you got in trouble, you would be watching to see what the teacher went and picked up to see how you had to, hold it in. There was like, so we used to wear like padded clothing. So you have the uniform, and then you have like shorts underneath, and then you have an extra shirt on top. So if in case you were gonna get beat, you had a padded because you don't want to skin. That's good. That's a whole lot of pain.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. They didn't beat y'all back home.
Well, just my school had a paddle, but it wasn't like across the board in
Wow.
Haiti. Just my school.
Okay. So yeah, back home, every school had the cane. That was life. You lived and died by that cane.
I mean, schools in Haiti might have had a cane, but like I could just speak for like my experience.
I totally understand. I mean, even like in the houses that I grew up in, the homes, it was all canes. I mean, obviously everybody got hit with like a slipper or something like that. Yeah. But I got the cane a whole bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? A nice little deterrent for about a couple of days, and all of that. So that's crazy. I'm really fascinated by this because all my Haitian friends, they never really told me the upbringing that they had. So it's crazy to find out that you actually had an Americanized upbringing back home, courtesy of your mom. And then when you came back here, the transition wasn't as difficult.
It wasn't for like the language and like the culture because I lived in America before I went to Haiti. Yeah. And then I would always come back. So like I always knew about the music, the songs, like the culture. But, as far as like my lifestyle and like the climate and stuff, that was like the hardest transition.
So how was your first winter?
I mean, I was born here. So
I know, but you went over there and you came back. Yeah, what was it like?
It was what it was. I had a coat. I'm more upset at winters now than I was growing up.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's like, ugh.
I feel like the winters are weak now.
I mean, they definitely are weaker. They are, but now it's like more of an inconvenience for me.
Major. As an adult, you're like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But other than that, I have my coat. I'm good to go. I know what I was getting myself into. True.
Very true. What events led up to where you are now, like to become a political blogger, leader of the Queen's Co. and all that? What did you like? What transition? What happened to be like? You know what? I'm gonna start this with your team and everything. I know it wasn't just your main idea, but everybody came together as a collective. So what happened to make that transition?
So as far as like the blogging and stuff goes, so I was always interested in politics ever since I was younger because, like I said, I grew up with a big family and every family function, there would always be this huge debate about either like American politics or Haitian politics. And everybody would be so passionate, yelling. Like my dad would get really passionate. So I would always just observe because I'm like, why are they like so passionate about this? Like this must be super important to get them so riled up. This is crazy. So I would just listen to their discussions and like hear their opposing views and ask my dad questions after, and we would always have these conversations. So then when I went to college, I went in as a psych major first because I knew I wanted to help people. Because of my mom's death and like a lot of things that I went through in my childhood, I knew I wanted to be somebody that could help people deal with their life issues. So I went in thinking that I wanted to be a psychologist. Okay. And then I took my first psych class when I got to UMass, and I was like, oof, this ain't it. This is not it. So
for, dullards like myself, what is psych?
Oh, psychology.
Okay.
It's like...
Okay, and what's actually... I never really got the understanding of psychology. What made you choose psychology?
I wanted to be a psychologist.
To talk to people?
Yeah.
Like... fix their brains and stuff, or
like I wanted to be like a therapist, like a counselor. I wanted to be in psychology, so help people talk through their issues. Okay. Yeah. So what made you go, this ain't for me after all of that? I just didn't like it. I didn't like the class. I'm not really like a science person, and there was a lot of science, and I was just like, this is not what I want to do. But because I knew I had like the passion for helping people, I knew that that's what I really wanted to fulfill, not necessarily, it didn't have to look like being a psychologist. So then I started to explore different classes because I changed my major to undecided, and then I had to obviously pick a major, but I didn't know what the heck it was that I wanted to do. So I started taking a whole bunch of different courses, and I explored things like economics, and I was like, nope. Explored things like public health, and I was like, I like this, but no. And then I took my first political science class, and I was like, I think this is it. So then I did really well in that class, and college was a huge struggle for me too, academically. Like transitioning from BPS to college level courses was rough for me. So college was a struggle.
BPS, Boston Public School, for those who are listening, didn't like help you transition at all. Like it wasn't like it was a different mindset, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So now you choose politics.
Mm-hmm.
You will obviously love that jargon, the way they talk. To me, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. When you guys speak, go around in circles, answer yes or no, But what about it give you that passion now? It's like, okay, you were passing the class. Where did you go? When did you go? Okay, fine. Let me go home on this and become a blogger about this.
So I took my first political science class, declared it as my major, but I had no idea what I was going to do with it. Like I knew I didn't want to be a politician. So I was just like, I'm going to just do it because this is what I'm good at and I need to get my degree. So I need to pass my classes to get up out of here. So I'm going to do what I'm good at and I'm going to do what I like and then keep it pushing. But while I was in school, I ended up joining some student organizations and I joined like the executive board of the Haitian American Student Association. And then
you jumped to the executive board that quickly?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a free, well, not free for all, but like, you run, you pick a position.
So what was your pitch to become the executive?
It was simple. I mean, I put in the work. People saw me involved, so like it's not like I had to do a whole campaign or whatever. But I just told people I'm running for this position, so vote for me. And like I don't think I had a lot of competition. There was like some, but like nothing major.
It wasn't going hard for it like the way you were going hard for it.
It just, I don't know. It wasn't like that serious.
Okay.
Like it was like a little friendly competition. Like nothing, no big deal.
Alright.
I didn't like make posters.
How about that? Did you make posters too?
No, it was just like the day of, because the former leadership team, they always kind of identify like, oh, you should run for the executive board, like people who are graduating, people who are like moving on. So so I ended up joining as a public relations officer. So we hosted a lot of great events on campus, like pretty big events that a lot of other kids from other schools would come to. Like we had a budget, like it was like serious business. So I started doing PR for them and then I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the marketing aspect. So then I started doing more internships in PR to explore the field because I knew that was something I might potentially want to do when I graduate. And then I majored at some PR firms, but I was trying to figure out how I could bring the political aspect of my life with my new interest in PR. But then fortunately after I graduated college, I was able to get a job for a political organization doing communications and public relations work. So then that's kind of how I dive deep into that field.
Now, for somebody who just heard all of that, communications and relations work. When you're in the political aspect, in the political field, what does that entail? Like, what does that job description actually entail?
So the political organization I was working for, they did policy advocacy around reproductive rights. So they would, work on passing bills to help advance women's reproductive rights. Because in case, you don't know or people listening don't know that conservatives, they tend to be really Christian. So, they kind of use Christianity to go against abortion. And they literally try to pass legislation to stop people from getting abortions, like banning it in certain states or closing down different health clinics so that the operation is not done. Like there's like a huge political campaign.
Oh, I've been seeing it. It's still fighting now.
Yeah. So we helped to basically do like the offense.
Okay.
For those issues. Like we would advocate for organizations like Planned Parenthood, advocate for legislation so that we could improve women's reproductive health, sexual education, that whole aspect.
How do you guys feel as women that a man is telling you what to do with your body?
I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid. Like, even like us having our period, like it has nothing to do with y'all, and it's like I always get mad, get upset because when I get my period, I'm in a lot of pain. But I still, I can't be like, oh, I'm calling out of work today, I'm on my period. It's not, society doesn't even give women grace. Our uterus is literally falling out and y'all just think we have to go about our business. I'm not even joking.
Oh, I know.
Go about our business like it's nothing.
I've seen women get fired at work over that.
And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Y'all have no idea what it's like to, be a woman and, have these parts and, have these constant changes in our bodies. It's just and I can't even imagine what it's like to be pregnant. I'm sure it's a beautiful experience, but I'm sure it's also
So if you were talking to a politician right now, what would you say to him when it comes to that? to make them go, bro, we need to change this right now for the women?
I mean, their motives has nothing to do with women. It just has to do with control and patriarchy and wanting to make women second-class citizens. Like, they know.
I don't see. That's crazy to me because I'm like, how can you want to make women second-class citizens, but your mom, your sister,
people don't make the connection.
Well, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, like if you're not giving these women opportunities to take care of themselves, you're telling your mom and your sister you don't give a fuck about them either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna don't go into a fit and you're like, wait a minute, we passed a bill that does that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. Your mom is a woman. Mm-hmm. She gave birth to you through a process. Mm-hmm. I've never understood that. You know what I'm saying? When I walk in front of the Planned Parenthood or wellness centers, whatever, and I see dudes with the flyers out there like, you're committing murder, I'm like, fam. Fam. They already know what these women are already mentally going through, and now you're gonna be throwing murder in their face? Like, bro, like, what if this was your aunt? You gonna tell her? Like, that's crazy to me.
They don't care.
Like, I don't even understand dudes who do that because I've had female friends who obviously, how to get abortions and stuff like that. And the process after, I don't think people understand, like, it doesn't end.
Yeah, and it's not an easy decision. It's not like, I got pregnant, I'm gonna be like, whatever, and just get, like, it's really tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Like, I was as a younger dude, I wasn't, like, obviously hip to what I am now and everything. But, Shorty would tell me, a close friend was like, yeah, I just had an abortion. I'm like, why? You trying to get a drink, though?
Yeah. Like, it was
like, it was nothing.
normal.
They're like, no, bro, I can't. I'm, like, emotionally not there right now. I'm going through a lot. I'm like, what are you going through? It's over with, right? Because for us men, I'll tell you that. Once the pain's gone, we don't think about it no more. We forget. This is why we go back and put our hand in the stove again because we don't care about that. But for y'all, it's like a whole process. It's taking me as an adult man now to go, okay, cool. Then I'll process things. I'm gonna go over here and do my thing, and then when she's cool, she'll talk. So what would you tell younger dudes? Like, hey, listen. Like, what would you tell them to pay attention to when they're dealing with somebody of the opposite sex? When it comes to that.
When it comes to that,
yeah.
I mean, just be empathetic, like,
Yeah. I don't think, explain that empathy, because I don't think, these young dudes really understand what empathy is.
Like, be considerate of that person's feelings. Like, listen to them, honor what they're saying. Like, don't be like, man, you lying, you doing and I seen you doing this, I seen you doing that, you good. Like, nah, like, listen to them. However they feel is how they feel, and respect it, honor it, and ask how you can help.
That's crazy. Because we definitely don't do that.
Yeah, ask.
We never, we go, you good? That's the question we ask. You good? We say, yeah. We don't think forward like, okay, cool, but maybe I can help her do other things.
Yeah, just be like, how can I help you? Like, is there anything you need from me? Anything I can do?
Yeah, hey, that fellas, you gotta help out. Imagine that was your mom or your sister, man. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So now, you started Queen's Co. What was the conversation? Like, how did that? I was always intrigued about how you guys started that. Like, how did that conversation go?
So first we started the Queen's Dinner before we actually founded Queen's Company, and the Queen's Dinner is what we just celebrated the 3rd year anniversary of last month. Okay. And so I saw a meme floating around Facebook, and it was like it was like an Instagram screenshot of a picture of a group of black women, and they were lawyers, engineers, doctors, and they were at some like award ceremony, and it was like a lit ass picture, like they were like posing, like they were proud of themselves. Of course. In the caption or whatever, they were talking their shit, like one of us is a doctor, one of us is a lawyer, one of us is an engineer, and we're all supporting each other, and we're all doing it, and it was really dope. And then I saw a lot of people sharing the meme, well, a lot of women sharing the meme, and they were just like, I really want like a squad like this, like. But women are so catty, I can never find friendships like this, yada, yada, yada. And then I was looking at them share it, and I was just like, nah, that's not true. Because like I said, I always had a great group of girlfriends. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, like, this is completely possible. Like, that is not true. So then I was thinking about the friendships that I had with my girls. And we had recently graduated college maybe like 2 years ago. So we were like trying to get settled into the professional world and figure out what exactly it was that we wanted to do. And we also had a lot of fun with like travel together. We had our group chat. Like we were a really good group of friends. Yeah, you get us doing travel. Y'all be traveling. I be like, damn, they over there now? Yeah, we be out. But I was thinking, I'm like, okay, how can we be more intentional about our friendship? So not just about us doing all the fun things, but how can we really use our friendships to grow? Because most of us were first generation college graduates and first generation immigrants. So it was hard. It was hard. We didn't have like our parents to be like, oh, like, how do you navigate this space? Like, we didn't have mentors. We were just trying to figure it out on our own. So I was like, what if we were more intentional about using our friendships to talk about our goals and the things that we want to accomplish and our ambitions so that we could help one another throughout each of our journeys. Yeah. So then I was like, I'm going to host dinner. I'm going to call it the Queen's Dinner, and I'm going to invite people to come. And then...
So you just came up with the Queen's Dinner?
Yeah, I was like, this is me, like, just thinking to myself.
Oh, nice.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna host an event, I'm gonna host a dinner. But it wasn't like an event. I just wanted to host it with my friends.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it a dinner, and I'm gonna do some activities during the event, during the dinner, so that we could talk about these things. So I did like a flyer because I was a little extra.
Hey, you gotta do that. Hey, man, make it rock.
Exactly.
You gotta make it rock.
I sent it in all the group chats that I was in. I was like, if you guys want to get involved, like, email me to RSVP. So then 8 of us actually ended up meeting up at Maggiano's January 4th, 2016.
That was an old spot, Maggiano's.
Yeah, and they had like the family serving, so it was easy, split the bill, good to go. Everybody eats 3 courses.
Man, yeah.
Popping. So that dinner was really, really powerful and really impactful, and we were posting it on Snapchat because, whenever you go out with your friends, you always post it. So we were just posting it or whatever, and then it was a really, really powerful night. So then we were like, we need to do this again. So we decided to do it quarterly as a way to kind of check in on the things that we spoke about and to continue growing and developing.
I got to give props to y'all females, man. Especially, no, not even females. I'm going to give props to the Queen's Co. Because you guys been everywhere. Like I said, you guys are just grown, and I want to ask why fellas can't be in it, but I understand why fellas can't be in it also, so I don't feel like we need to be in it. This is y'all safe space.
Yeah, and y'all need y'all safe spaces too. You know what I mean?
Fellas, we need our safe space
y'all
too, bro.
Y'all need y'all spaces to heal, to discuss, to build brotherhood. Like that's really important. It's really essential to you learning more about who you are as a man. You know what I mean? Like, you need those bonds. We all need those bonds. We all need those relationships. But it's different when you're doing it with people who are very similar to you, with like-minded individuals.
Yes.
And not to say that men, like, we do have events where we allow men to come, but obviously, like, we don't allow just anybody to come. You get invited. Like, we talk to our friends, but I always be like, all right, so, like, this is the plan. Like, y'all can come, but, like, please respect the women. Like, don't come and, like, be trying to talk to everybody. Don't come and, like,
about game, fam. We're not gaming here.
Like, if you talk to somebody and y'all end up vibing, that's one thing. Yeah. But if you come in, like, because, like, we already deal with so much of that, like, on the street. So, like, we're just here to come in, like, be ourselves and just chill. So if you can, like, match that energy, then yes, come. But if I've never been in a situation where a guy came to one of our events and acted crazy. They've all been very respectful. Yeah, very, because they know. We set the tone, and then you feel the energy in the room, and they feed off the vibes too, which is really dope.
That's dope.
So we do have some events that we allow guys to come in, but most of our events we don't.
No, that's fine. I just, like I said, I love the fact that you guys actually do that. Because growing up, we didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you didn't know how to even get it off the ground. So now that you've gotten it off the ground, before you got off the ground, what were the challenges that you actually faced getting it off the ground?
So, going back to dinner. So after we had the dinner, we were posting about it on Snapchat. So a lot of people were inquiring about it. Like, what is this event? Like, we want to come. Like, this looks so cool. Like, that looks so much fun. So then every other dinner that we had, we invited more and more women to come. So then it was growing, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to start an organization. And I was like, I'm going to call it Queen's Company. And then the way I picked my team, so, like, a lot of my team were the women who came to the first one.
Yeah.
But then I just, like, looked at the people who were really involved and every dinner we hosted, I had a co-facilitator that helped me put together the activities. So they kind of showed me what they could do, what they could bring to the table. So I looked at my friends, looked at their skill set, and I was like, all right, like, you work in advertising. So Francisca, you're going to be our marketing director. Jackie, you're really good at event decor, so you're going to be our event planner. And then Valentina, who's our VP, she's really good at, like, business management, operational management. So I was like, you're going to be our vice president. So I kind of handpicked everybody, and everybody accepted. Amenzi, I was like, you're going to be our outreach director because, you love talking to people.
Yeah. She's very good at it.
Yeah.
Very good.
She's good at connecting with people. So I was like, this is your position. And so everybody accepted it, and then it was like, okay, like this is it. But like none of us had any idea of how to run a business. But there's tons of resources out there. So like if you want to do something, you just gotta go learn and figure out how to
Google,
do it.
Baby. Google is everything, man.
So I joined this organization called the Fairmont Innovation Lab in Dorchester in Uplands Corner, and they help social entrepreneurs and creatives get their businesses off the ground. They have a co-working space, so they had an accelerator program, and the accelerator program teaches you how to basically build your business from scratch and like gives you access to a lot of business resources. And this is a free program, so I applied. I did the application. I'm like, I don't know if I'm saying any of this right, because like
Hey,
beats me.
But
I'm like, I have this idea, I have a team, I have people who believe in it, so like something's gotta give.
Something's gotta give, yeah.
So Valentina and I went to the interview, and I'm like, we just gonna go in there, we're gonna smile, and we're gonna like really show our personality and show our passion. And so like even if they ask us specific questions like, do you have a business plan? Like what's your like projected revenue and all this stuff that we don't know the answer to? We just gonna smile and be like, we're here to learn. Like be honest, like we're here to learn. We're here to learn.
We're blank slates.
Yeah. So that's what we ended up doing, and then they ended up liking us, and then we did the program, and that really taught us a lot of how to like build like the infrastructure of our organization. But a lot of the challenges were, so like in Boston, it's really hard to start things like this because people ain't really gonna rock with it unless you already have some type of traction, already have some type of attention. So when you're starting from scratch, from the beginning, it's hard to get people to come out. It's hard to get people to support you. It's hard to get people to believe in what you're doing.
It's hard to get sponsors.
That's a whole other struggle. Yeah. But so yeah, we struggled. Like our first event as Queen's Company, this was outside of the dinners. Yeah. We held a vision board party, and we did it for free because we put our money together. We were like, all right, we're gonna get the space, we're gonna get the food, we're gonna get the materials. So we did it for free. Started pushing it out on Eventbrite. 50 RSVPs like in the first few hours, sold out, whatever, good, happy.
That's fantastic, yeah.
The day of the event came, 5 people showed up. But we still had.
How did I hit y'all?
I mean, we still had a good time. We knew, like, either way, we were still gonna have. We had all this food, all this wine, all this energy, all this stuff. So we were like, we're not gonna waste it. Like, we made sure that the 5 people that were there had a great experience. Took pictures. We genuinely had a good time, but obviously we were like disappointed in the attendance. But we were just like, all right, so next time we're not doing no more free events because people will RSVP and they won't have nothing to lose if they don't show up. We all do that. We RSVP I was like, no more. I didn't pay for nothing, so I'm just gonna stay home. So that was like an important lesson for us. But then it also like tested us as well too, because we could have gave up after that and been like, no. And like honestly, there's been a lot of times I wanted to give up. But we never do. I'm gonna
get back to that right there. Continue what you're saying. I guess like what you said, but I'm gonna get back to that. Continue what you were saying about the whole Queen's Code.
But yeah, so we didn't give up. So that was like a lot of the challenges. The beginning part, like getting people to believe in what we were doing. But the more we did, the more people believed in it. And like consistency is huge. People really don't realize how much consistency pays off. So when you believe in yourself and you're just like doing you, and that's what we were doing. We're just doing us, coming up with ideas, bringing them to life, doing these photo shoots, like literally just like having fun and just doing us, and then just capturing the moments and posting them online. And then people really started to see like, okay, these girls are really about this life. Yeah. Like this looks cool. Like I'm trying to go to the next Queen's dinner. Like what's up? Like so
do you think because even though you had 5 people, do you think people wanted to see if you guys were serious before they decided?
Yeah, I'm sure they did, and I don't blame them. For that. I mean, you want to see people's track record before you kind of invest in their vision. Very true. So we just knew we had to just keep doing us, keep doing the thing.
What was the conversations like after the first like actual Queen's event that was free? I know you say you guys were obviously not happy with the first outcome. So what was that like next meeting when you're like, okay, cool, what did we learn from this situation?
It was, I don't remember it being like negative.
Okay.
I mean,
that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, it's never really negative. Even if we have like one person who might be like, being a Debbie Downer, then we just like tell them, but we did this really well and this went really well. Like we have all these email addresses now, so now we're building our email list. So like it's still a success. It's still a win.
Still a win.
5
people came. I feel like people don't understand that when you're starting something from the ground up, you can't expect people to just jump on board.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, I used
have
to beg, like not beg, but I used to like send out personalized emails to like women in my network to get people to come to the Queen's dinner.
Man.
Cause like at first we did it invite only.
Yeah.
So I used to be on people like, don't forget to RSVP.
That's
like,
not begging.
To do this.
That's you being on people's ass.
Yeah.
Because this is you putting. First and foremost, that's not begging. That's you being passionate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this is a good thing. I'm not trying to have you be a part of. Like, come
exactly,
check it out.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
No, I totally get that, and I feel like people don't get that. If you're not in that world of doing something, like when people are starting something brand new, they don't know like, oh, this might be rough. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have down days. Like for me, my dad is an accountant. He owns his own company now, but I saw him struggle. Like we had nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like this man did not want to get a regular job. My mom was bitching at him and shit. Like you need to get a job. He's like, nah, I'm gonna stick it through. He's well off now. But I remember them like, okay, cool. So you telling me that story of how you got started, it just tells me, it shows me that, with perseverance, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because look at you guys now. You guys are glowing. You guys are shining everywhere. That sweatshirts from that, stitching from that, right? One of the events you guys threw.
We sell these online too.
Oh, word?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
queenschool.org/shop.
I'm gonna zoom in on that later on for y'all know. That says faith over fear. So explain what that. Obviously, we know what that means, but is there like a deeper meaning for that?
I mean, this is my like personal mantra. So our first T-shirt, the first like line of merch that we made is like community over competition.
I seen that,
and that one is huge for us because we really value community, like supporting one another and not being competitive. Because like that's what society says: women are competitive, women don't get along, women are catty, like. Whatever.
Let me butt in real quick. I don't look at competition as a bad thing.
And that's a good perspective to have.
It's
but the way it's normally enforced, it's negative.
And
you know
I feel
what I mean?
like, and not just with businesses, I feel like even with the musicians and everything, they look at competition as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like no, if you don't have competition, how do you grow?
There can be healthy competition.
That's
but then there can also be like negative competition.
Yeah, we know what that's like. Everybody knows what the negative competition looks like. But the positive competition where you actually pushing yourself, that person is giving you creative juices.
And with the healthy competition, you should be able to support other people because you ain't worried about other people taking your spot or whatever.
No.
You just feeding off their energy.
Especially nowadays, there's enough for everybody to eat.
Exactly.
With the internet, your reach is worldwide now.
Yeah.
Like, you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
And not worry about the next person. Matter of fact, you can reach out to the next person with no ego and go, hey, what's up? I like what you're doing over there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Maybe we can figure something out and work it out.
And transitioning over into the faith over fear. So I was having a conversation with Valentina, who's our vice president.
Okay.
And we were like in her car and we were talking and stuff. And then I was just telling her, we were talking about like, so with the healthy competition and supporting other people, you support other people because you know, like, you have faith in the fact that you're supposed to be doing whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever is for you is going to be for you regardless of who else is doing it, who else is involved. So when you have faith over fear, that's when you're able to really walk into your purpose. So we were talking and I said something about faith over fear and then I was like, oh shoot, we gotta put that on the sweatshirt because we already had the community over competition. So I was like, boom, that's our next t-shirt. But that's a huge mantra for me because I'm really grounded in my faith, you know what I mean? And it helps me have an extreme amount of tunnel vision. Like I don't see competition. I don't even see like what other people are necessarily doing. You know what I mean? I'm so focused on like my goal, my vision, and my direction. Yeah. But just because I say I don't see what other people are doing, when I say that, I see it and I recognize it and I support other people all the time, but I don't really see it in a way that it affects me personally.
Yeah, it's not detrimental to you.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, everybody's on their own path, everybody's on their own journeys, and and I love when people are following their purpose because you can see it. You can see it on them, and I love that energy, and I'm really happy to have a lot of people around me who are doing that. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like...
Oh, big time.
Powerful.
Like I said, when I came into this, I didn't understand what I was coming into. This was just doing a whole podcast thing was just like a way for my regular job. Something to keep my brain busy, but intellectually. You know, like I said, I love being around you guys. You know, being around women like you and men who are intellectually brilliant. You guys are on a whole different level where I'm just like, I read, but not to that level. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I need to be around these people. But you guys were competitive, but supportive to each other.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't grow up with competition was, I'm going to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take you out. You know what I'm saying? And in the concrete jungle, we learn, kill what you eat. But you got to kill what you eat. But I'm like, it didn't work here. It doesn't work here. And I realized that the only way, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been reaching out to everybody, listening. I'm like, the only way you cannot ask for support if you're not supporting too. That makes no sense. It was like, that's one of the biggest things I've heard since I started this. There's no supporters. I'm like, there is mass support. It's just ego and pride.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like, what do you want support for?
Like, what do you actually bring into the table?
Exactly.
What is your niche?
Exactly.
Why should they pay attention to you over the other person? And not even over the other person, like, there's enough of you. But why should they also give some of that attention to you also? You know what I'm saying? It's like people think they can't share the table. They want the whole meal to themselves. It's like, nah, so you don't want the crumbs, but if you have the whole piece, what's the other person gonna have now? You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. So now that you guys have been connecting and networking everywhere, how has that affected your relationships or friendships in that?
Like our friendships?
Yeah.
I mean, our friendships, like with our team or like...
In your team and outside.
I mean, I made a lot of great connections and met a lot of cool people that, like... So, like, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a creative, like, I have a lot of friends that are into the same thing. So, like, I may not hit them up and be like, I'm going to the mall, you want to come? But, like, when it comes to, like, that aspect of creative, entrepreneurial side, we really connect on that level. So, we're able to feed off of each other's energy in that place. But then I also have my friends who are not, like, creatives. They're not entrepreneurs, but they're just cool-ass people that I just really rock with. So, you know what I mean? Like, I have different friendships for, like, different things.
You put them in different pockets.
Yeah, different, like, compartments, I guess.
That took me a while.
Yeah, and you gotta
adjust.
you gotta act accordingly to whatever compartment they're into, because a lot of people get mad when, like, their friends don't support them. You know what I mean? Like, dang, I've been doing this, and, like, nobody's sharing this, nobody's doing that, but, like, nobody's obligated to do that.
They're not obligated at all.
They're not. So, like,
they don't even know. Most of the time, people don't even understand that just sharing something is that support.
Yeah.
We all expect support to be like, oh, I'm there for you all the time. No, just sharing something alone.
Yeah.
When I started my mobile podcast business that I started off, I just posted it up. And I didn't realize, I didn't put on my business hat and go, oh, I've already made connections, let me reach out. Because, I mean, if you don't, what's the phrase I always use? Close mouth, don't get fed. It's like, I didn't ask nobody to do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I reached out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, people know me now, well enough, and I hope that I put enough of myself, good enough out there, people are like, oh, God, so I can do that for him. Not a problem. Because support is free. I feel like people look at support as money being spent. No. If I'm selling merch, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Merch, yes. If you're gonna give it to me for free, that's cool too. But I'll wear it and talk about it, this is my people's, go check it out if you want it, boom, boom. That. So now support, I feel, when it comes to that, now I'm learning that, okay, I can't expect my friends who are not in this world to support me the way people in this world.
It's going to be a different type of support. And you don't know what people are saying behind closed doors too.
Very
people
true.
Could be saying, like, they might meet somebody and be like, oh, like, that happens to me a lot. I get a lot of people who approach me and they'll be like, oh yeah, somebody told me about you. They told me to reach out to you about this. Like, and I'm like, I'm grateful for people who I don't even know like that are like telling people like, you need to have Jessica speak at your event. So I'm grateful for people like that. But then that comes with like your track record. Like,
yes.
What kind of work are you putting out? Are you being consistent? Are you bringing value? Because when people recognize that, they're not going to have no choice but to say good things.
Word of mouth is still the strongest thing.
It's definitely the strongest. Even with Queens Co. My guy friends, they can't come to the events, but they support in a different way.
Yeah.
They be telling any girl that they meet, like, you know about Queen's Company? You need to find out about them. Like, this is the Instagram, like, this is the website. Like, you
That's
need to
beautiful, though.
Yeah, it's
dope.
Really dope. It's really dope. So, yeah, I think people take things personally, but like with business, like, you really can't take nothing personal.
No.
You just gotta observe and adjust and act accordingly. Because the only person that you can control is yourself. You can't control other people's actions.
Preach.
So you need to be like, like this person, they did me dirty, so I'm gonna decide whether I want to move forward with this friendship or whatever this is. I'm gonna act according to what it actually is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't be like, of course you can be hurt, but you gotta take some self accountability there too. Like,
and for those listening, you gotta understand, people will do you dirty. That's just part of the game.
It's just people to people. You gonna do people dirty too.
Yeah, exactly. and you know what's funny with that? Like, we never know that about ourselves. Like, yo, I ain't never done nobody dirty. Fam, come on, dog. So you never lied? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So now,
it's part of the process.
It's part of the process. And that's why I always talk about, my biggest thing is doing good business.
Yeah.
And that even with that good business, I feel like people like to say, when you're doing good business, bad things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't foresee everything that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So how have you guys dealt with that with the good business you guys are doing? Because obviously there's good business going on for you guys to have progressed to where you guys at. Because you've had a lot of politicians, especially the women ones. You guys were really out there. You know, now I didn't understand. Obviously, I'm not a big political person. But how was that meeting them and seeing them supporting you guys?
So, because I've always worked in like the political world, so I've always had like a relationship with Ayanna Pressley ever since like I graduated in 2013. We worked, the organization I worked with, we worked very closely with her, but she was a city councilor at the time, but she was always amazing, always flawless. But even before Queen's Company, before I was an entrepreneur, I always had a good relationship with her. So I've always been around a lot of these political people, so it wasn't really too hard to get them to speak at our events. But at the time, I wasn't thinking like this is gonna be easy. I was like, yo, like this is a big reach. But I went to an event and Ayanna Pressley was speaking. This is when she was doing her campaign, and I grabbed her campaign manager and I was like, yo, my name is Jessicah Pierre. I run this organization called Queen's Company, and Ayanna Pressley needs to speak at one of our events.
Yo, I like how you said needs.
I was like, yeah, like,
it's necessary.
This is gonna be so many. I gave her my card. There's gonna be so many of her constituents there. So many potential voters. Like she needs to be there. This is like gonna be beneficial for everybody involved. So then he was like, okay, cool. And then he gave me his card and I emailed him. And he never emailed me back, of course. But I emailed him again because, you're not going to say no to me.
No. One thing. Isn't persistence very key?
Yeah, but like persistence in the right way. Yeah. Don't just be persistent just to be persistent. Like bring value. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. I told him like she needs to speak there. Like I stated the value first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then so it was like a process, but then her scheduler had called me randomly one day and she was like, hi, like I'm calling from Ayanna Pressley's office. And I was like, oh, hi. And she's like, yeah, so we're looking at your website and we really love this. And, you know, AP, she said she totally wants to come. And I was like, oh my God, she's coming. And I like texted the girls. I'm like, she's going to speak at our event.
How long did that take?
I mean,
it
took a lot because also people, so I had her campaign manager's number, but then he transitioned out of the position. So a new person was in the role. But fortunately, when I followed up with him, he was like, contact this person. Yeah. So I contacted that person. I also showed up a lot in person too. That's another thing people underestimate. People just be sending DMs or sending emails. So like, if you know where they're going to be at, show up, pull up on them and be like, you know, I've been, and show them that, you know, you've been supporting them or like, you know, paying attention to what they're doing for a while. Like, you know, that whole value thing. Yeah. So then it probably took like 2 months. To get it, but she didn't confirm until like a little bit before the event, so we were already like promoting it and stuff, and we didn't know if she was gonna come or not, but then she was.
Show has to continue.
Yeah, and like you never know with people. Because,
you shot your shot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And then it's like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then with Liz Miranda was always a huge supporter of ours, even before I knew her personally. Okay. She used to follow us on Instagram, and she was always commenting on our stuff. She believed in us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I met her in person, it was easy. We automatically clicked, and we automatically vibed. And when she was running for state rep, I was really involved in her campaign as well, too. So it was a no-brainer for her to come speak at our event. And, you know, yeah, so, and it was like right after the election.
Fly on the wall to just hear what she was saying, what they were saying to you.
Oh man,
the clips you guys put up, the pictures and all of that, you guys all look like you're just intensely paying attention. Just listening to everything. So you guys came out stronger. I was like, damn, so we dudes is missing out. We need to figure something out here.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful, and people are always paying attention. That's why like I always remind myself like move in excellence, because people are always watching. Mm-hmm. And not to say that, you got to be like perfect or got to be like whatever, but like just make
Best
sure you're
foot forward.
always,
Best
always
foot
doing
forward.
your best.
Yeah.
Always doing your best. Always coming out, always being on top of your shit. Always like providing value so that when people are watching and you contact different people for different things, they already know what you're up to. They already know what you're doing. Yes. So it's easy. You don't even have to really say much because they already know.
They already know.
People are always watching. You know what I mean?
That's something I like I said, this has been a learning process for me, and I'm now understanding like, okay, how have I I've always put my best foot forward before, but it wasn't in this way. It wasn't like you would meet me and be like, oh, who's Shola? Oh, he don't give a fuck about shit. That was it. But they were obviously more than me, but that's the person I gave out.
Yeah.
So that people just were like, okay, I can just do whatever around. I'm not realizing underneath all of that, yeah, I can do some shit. That I just chose to just.
And you found your passion.
Yeah, I love this
when
shit.
You find your passion, you gotta go
it's a
after
whole different
full
ballgame.
force. You can't half-ass it.
No, oh my goodness.
And your spirit will literally not let you, like, your body will not let you half-ass it. Like, I have a great relationship with myself, and people don't realize how important it is to have a relationship with yourself.
I saw what you did. You know what I'm saying? The self-love and all that. I told you, that your shit actually gave me a crazy idea, but we'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, that's so true, because we're also on a fast pace right now. Everybody's just trying to figure things out. Nobody's taking time to just relax and really focus on themselves.
Yeah, and that's the key. The key, figuring things, you figure things out when you figure yourself out. That's the key. So
how did you figure yourself out?
I mean, I'm constantly figuring myself out. It's a journey, it's a process, but
what stage you at?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I mean, I'm very happy with who I am because, and when I say I'm happy with who I am, it's not because I'm perfect. I still be messing up all the time. And like, because I'm so in tune with myself will let me know, like, you're messing up. Or like.
But isn't that something you should still love?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was like literally the next thing I was gonna say, but it's something that I really embrace. And like, even like when I make mistakes, I'm like, you made a mistake, but you learn for next time. So
you learn.
Or you could be mad because I'm very hard on myself, so I'd be mad. And I'm like, you can be mad.
How tight do you get? Like, how down do you get when you get like upset at yourself?
Oh, I get real down. I beat myself up.
Oh, damn.
But then I'd be like, I'm gonna let you, be down for a little bit, but you're gonna come back.
Yeah.
So like, you can stay there for a little bit.
Oh man, so we're different on that. I kind of just go, get me fucked up. I keep it moving, bro.
That's good.
That's legit.
That's
I have
good.
to. It's sad because when I am feeling that emotional, it takes a long time for me to get out of that. I don't call it depression. I just call it sadness, where I'm just like down on myself, and it's just like I don't like beating myself up. Especially like I don't look at the problems I have. I try to figure out the solutions.
Yeah, same.
You know what I'm saying? So when people are confiding in me or talking about things, I'm listening to them as they talk, but I'm also realizing they're not even thinking about moving forward. You know what I'm saying? They're just stuck in that mold of, I'm going through this right now, I can't change it. But I'm like, yeah, you can't change it, but you can take a step forward and work through that. And I think people want that pain to go away so fast, and I realize it's a journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because who I was back then to who I am now, man, listen, if I go back in time, I'm like, boy, don't fuck it up. We got a good thing going in the future, my guy. You know what I mean? Now that with all that you've accomplished and all of that, which is self-worth, how do you perceive life? In the stage that you're at. Obviously, you're still there. You're still growing and all that.
I mean, I love my life, and it's really important to like. So when you're ambitious and you're always trying to do better and you're always trying to progress, you're always thinking about the next best thing, right? Like, all right, what can I do next? Like, how can I get this? Like, how can I go to this level? But like, I'm really taking time to enjoy and like honor where I am in life now, because I'm not going to be here. You know what I mean? It's the only time I'm going to be here right now in this moment. This moment's not going to come back.
Nope.
So just taking time to really respect that. You know what I mean? And take all that comes with it. So like, there's something called mindfulness, when you're being present in a moment right now. Like, you're letting your mind, you're not thinking about the future, you're not thinking about the past, you're thinking about right now. So I really try to practice. That's one of my major goals for this year, is to practice more mindfulness and be more present in the moment and just appreciate things now and not always think about the future or what else I could be doing. But it's like, what do you want to do right now? You want to chill?
Let's chill. Word. That is a word right there. If you're just gonna chill, just chill. Shut your brain, not shut your brain down, but calm yourself down.
Yeah.
And just enjoy which is what's going on. So before we wrap up, what are you most proud of?
I think what I'm most proud of is the fact that I'm being myself, and because I have this platform, I'm able to show people like what happens when you're just yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot
That's
of
a big
people
thing
think,
now. I don't mean to cut you off.
no, it is. Because a lot of people think you have to be a certain way to be
Mhm.
a certain person. And it's like, no, you just got to be your best self. Like, that's it. Who you are, and operate in the best mode possible. And figure out what are those things that help me operate in the best mode possible. And then keep doing those things. Like, it's a very simple formula.
Simple.
But it's hard to figure all of those things out. But it's supposed to be hard. And then on the other side, when you learn the lessons of a lot of those hardships or challenges, like, it's like, oh, shoot, I overcame that. And now I'm like, I have this whole new mindset. I have this whole new perspective. And it just adds on to life.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we only have a short time in life. And I'm coming to understand that like, each day cannot be wasted at all. Like, even if you're not doing anything, at least you cherish in those moments that you are there. Whether it's with your family, whether it's with your business. Understand that, hey, you're living an imprint. What kind of imprint are you actually leaving on this earth? Because when you're gone, your name can either end up on the good side or nobody wants to speak your name. I'd rather my name be spoken in a positive way. Everybody knows everybody has errors, whatever.
Yeah.
But at least your basket of good things overcomes that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you're into mythology or anything like that, but in the Egyptian culture, in the afterlife, your soul is compared to the lightness of a feather. So when you're passing to afterlife, whether you're gonna go to wherever you're gonna go or down there, they're gonna place the feather on the weight and balance you out, see where it's at. So that's my thing where I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to balance myself off so that when I do go wherever I go, whoever is judging me is looking at every aspect of my life. You know what I'm saying? What would be some advice that you would give people now that are going through their thing, trying to figure out their place in life? And how would you say is the best way for somebody to stay optimistic, even in their bleakest moments?
So
part one,
figure out who you are. Like, take time to really learn yourself outside of what people may have told you, outside of what people want you to think. So like our friends, our families, society, media, everything influences us. But figure out, like, be a critical thinker, critique everything, ask yourself questions, ask questions. You know what I mean? Like, be curious, be explorative, so you can figure out who you are in your core. And that's a process. But once you figure out little things, you're able to figure out more and more and more. And like, that journey will take you far, because when you figure out yourself, you figure out what you're passionate about, what you like, what you're good at. And when you have a combination of like what you're passionate about and what you're good at, you're able to bring those things together with hard work and with research and with like the willingness to become an expert in it. That's where like success lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So take the time to really figure yourself out outside of like your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. Like, who are you?
Yeah, definitely. That reminds me of one of my biggest jelly movies. Jackie Chan movies of Who Am I? He ran up to this building and tower and just screamed, "Who am I?" The entire movie. It was a classic movie. And I was like, as a kid, it's like, "You're right. Who are we?" Trying to figure it out. And now, when somebody's going through their tough times, what was some advice that you would give them to get them out of that situation? Whatever it is, like, what's your main mantra for that? How do you get yourself out of a tough moment?
I mean, I definitely talk to people I trust.
Okay.
I got my best friend on speed dial all the time. We talk sometimes we just be on the phone, like on FaceTime. We just doing our own thing. We have to talk to each other. But I talk to people I trust and people who love me. So like when I'm feeling down, they're able to tell me things to make me feel better. But then I also do like a lot of reflection. So a lot of times when I'm happy, I'll like really make a note of it so that when I am down, I can think about that time that I was happy and be like, oh yeah, like remember that time that brought me so much joy? Like, how can I get to that place again? Like, what was it about it that got me joy? And like, what can I do to like replicate that? You know what I mean? And you gotta have some type of hope in anything and everything. Like
things to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where my faith comes in. Like, I know God got me at the end of the day. So even when I go through things, even when I find myself in a pickle, I'm like, I know there's something here that I need to learn. So I need to stay focused, figure out the solution to this problem, and try to get up out my feelings about it, and then I know I'm going to learn something. Like, I know it's going to be a positive at the end of the day because I'm not going through it for no reason.
Very true. Everything's for a reason. Thank you very much, Jessica. This has been eye-opening to the fullest degree. Thank you for coming through and kicking it with show. Thank you, guys. This has been Kicking It With Show with Jessicah Pierre. Let them know where they can reach you, you know, what you're up to, what's up next, and all of that before we round up.
Sure. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at jessicapierre. My website is jessicapierre.com, but my Instagram is at JESSICAHPIERRE. Definitely check out Queen's Company, queenscode.org. I got a lot of stuff coming up next. If you follow me, you'll see I got a lot of events for Women's History Month. So if you guys like what you heard today, there's plenty more where that came from.
And subscribe to her newsletter, man.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to my blog, jessicapierre.com.
I get that shit in my email every month.
I appreciate you because, you know, blogging is hard. What you're doing is hard, but we got to do it.
You got to do it.
We got to do it because it's who we are and we got to share it with the world. So don't get discouraged.
Thank you. This has been Kicking It With Show. Holla.